kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes. But Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. So back to Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. They're in this bromance at the time that he separates from his wife, and you just wonder.
Oh my God, Ryan Reynolds is literally losing it right now. And honestly, I don't blame him.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Hefman have a relationship or something.
Because his carefully controlled, perfect Hollywood guy image just got ripped to shreds. And the person who did it? Candace Owens. She just exposed him in a way that has everyone questioning everything.
Anyways, people really began upping the questioning of his sexuality after he played this really flamboyant character in the Broadway play.
Like, is Ryan Reynolds really the funny, family man superstar we all think he is? Or has he been hiding something this whole time? Because if what Candace is saying is true, Ryan Reynolds has been pushing a total PR fantasy, and now the mask is slipping. And the worst part? Ryan is completely freaking out over it, because this is not just some random internet gossip. Hugh Jackman is getting dragged into it. Blake Lively's lawsuit just got way messier. And now, people are wondering if Ryan is hiding something way bigger.
That happened to Justin Baldoni, whether or not he wants to admit that or sees that.
Let's be real. Ryan Reynolds has always been a little too perfect. Like, this man literally has no scandals, no bad press, no drama, ever. That is not normal in Hollywood. And now, Candace Owens is calling him out on it. She just dropped some seriously shady details about Ryan's personal life, and it is not a good look. And what did she come for first? His so-called bromances. You know how Ryan is obsessed with Hugh Jackman? Like, they have been doing this fake feud thing for years and acting like they are just the best of friends? Well, according to Candace, that entire dynamic is way deeper than Ryan wants people to think. Because here's the thing, Ryan does not just have normal friendships. Everything he does feels like a PR move. And Owens flat out said that his bromances feel more like a calculated distraction than anything else. She pointed out that Ryan has been pushing this image of being the perfect family man for years, but the way he is constantly trying to prove his friendships with other men raises a lot of questions.
Because we are learning that Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed. And I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
And honestly, she has a point. Because why does Ryan go out of his way to make sure people know he and Hugh Jackman are best friends? Why does he constantly talk about how close they are? Why does he always bring up their feud like it's some inside joke that we're all supposed to be in on? Owens even pointed out that Ryan once described his relationship with Jackman as a marriage. Like, what? What kind of grown man calls his friend his spouse, unless he's trying to send a message? And that is when it hit me. Ryan Reynolds has been managing his public image for years. And if Candace Owens is right, that image is nothing but a total illusion. But wait, it gets even worse. Because now, Hugh Jackman is getting dragged into Blake Lively's lawsuit. And suddenly, Ryan Reynolds' name is attached to a legal battle that could ruin him.
Then they went back and they did some filming after the SAG-AFTRA strike, and somebody had admitted that they had done all of that dog pool filming. I said dog poo.
At this point, Ryan Reynolds must be absolutely spiraling. And honestly, I don't blame him, because his carefully crafted image is cracking right in front of everyone. And now, his closest friend just got pulled into the middle of the mess. That's right. Hugh Jackman is now being deposed in Blake Lively's lawsuit. And if you think that sounds suspicious, it absolutely is. Because Hugh Jackman, he had nothing to do with this case. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. But now, new information is coming out that makes it very clear that Hugh played a bigger role in this situation than anyone realized. And guess what? That means Ryan Reynolds is now more connected to this lawsuit than he ever wanted to be. And the worst part, if Hugh Jackman talks, Ryan's reputation might not survive it.
The guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate. Holy what the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Let's take a step back for a second. At first, this lawsuit was just about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It was already messy enough as it was. Blake accused Baldoni of crossing boundaries on set. Baldoni fired back with a $400 million counter lawsuit. Blake's PR team worked overtime to frame her as the victim, and then suddenly, Hugh Jackman's name appeared in legal documents, and now he is set to be deposed, which means one thing, he knows something. Because let's be real, Lawyers don't just drag celebrities into lawsuits for no reason. If Hugh Jackman is being brought in, it's because there are things happening behind the scenes that are not adding up. And when you look at the details, it gets even shadier. Hugh Jackman was suspiciously involved in the It Ends With Us press tour, even though he had nothing to do with the movie. Ryan Reynolds was constantly mentioned in conversations about the film, despite also having no official connection to it. Blake Lively's lawyers are now trying to block certain messages between her, Ryan, and Hugh from being used in court. That last part, that's the real red flag, because why would Blake's legal team be trying so hard to bury certain text messages unless they contain something seriously damaging? And if these texts expose something that Ryan and Hugh don't want people to know, this lawsuit could completely blow up in their faces.
Hugh Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
Here's where things get even more suspicious, because according to new legal filings, Blake's team is desperately trying to keep certain messages hidden. And not just Blake's messages. Ryan Reynolds' messages too. Her lawyers just requested something called attorney's eyes only protection, which, in simple terms, they are begging the court to make sure these messages never become public. And let's just be honest here. If you have nothing to hide, why would you go to extreme legal lengths to keep texts secret? But wait, it gets even juicier. Because guess who else is allegedly involved in these private texts? Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's right, Taylor, who was involved in casting for It Ends With Us. Taylor, whose music was chosen for the soundtrack. Taylor, who is now refusing to be deposed in this case. And the fact that Blake's team is panicking over these texts being exposed, that says everything. Because if it was just a normal conversation about the film, Blake wouldn't be fighting to keep them buried. But the fact that Ryan, Blake, Hugh Jackman, and Taylor Swift are all involved in secret conversations that lawyers are now trying to block from being used in court? Yeah, that is very suspicious. And Ryan, he knows this could ruin him. Because right now, it's not just his family man image on the line, it's his entire Hollywood reputation. And if this lawsuit ends up exposing something he has been trying to hide for years, Ryan Reynolds might not recover from it. And if you think this is bad, the next move in this lawsuit could be an absolute disaster for him.
That Hugh Hefner then appeared at the It Ends With Us premiere. Again, not his movie. Kind of weird that he's sitting the red carpet with them. He obviously knows what is going on. What would that conversation have been on the way to the premiere?
Ryan Reynolds has always been one step ahead of the media. He knows how to control a narrative. He knows how to keep the public on his side. He knows how to make scandals disappear before they can even touch him. But now, that control is slipping. Because after Candace Owens called him out, Hugh Jackman got dragged into a lawsuit, and Blake Lively's legal team started fighting to keep their messages hidden, Hollywood is starting to see the cracks in his perfect image. And Ryan, he's running out of ways to fix it. Because when Hollywood starts questioning you, it is only a matter of time before they decide you are replaceable. And Ryan might be closer to that point than anyone expected.
So he was one of the unnamed dragons, if you will, in all of this. And it looks like for that, he is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition.
If Ryan Reynolds still had full control of his public image, we would know by now. We would see his usual PR distractions. We would see his team flooding the media with positive press. We would see Hollywood backing him up like they always have. But that is not happening. Instead, Hollywood is staying silent. And in this industry, silence is a very bad sign. Because when Hollywood believes in you, they will defend you. They will make sure your reputation stays intact. They will bury a scandal before it even starts. But when they think you might be a liability, they cut you off. And right now, that is exactly what is happening to Ryan. Because the industry has not stepped in to clear his name. His usual media allies, nowhere to be found. His Hollywood friends, staying quiet. His PR team, struggling to keep up. And that is not normal, because Hollywood will protect you until the second. You are no longer worth protecting. And if Ryan is already losing their support, that means the industry is preparing to move on without him.
Hugh Jackman is going to be deposed before the trial because Baldoni's legal team wants to get the full scope of Reynolds' conduct.
Behind the scenes, Ryan's team is in full-blown panic mode. They know that if they don't fix this soon, his career could take a serious hit. So what are they doing? They are pushing positive press about his upcoming projects to distract from the lawsuit. They are controlling the narrative on social media to make sure critics get silenced. They are trying to create a new, funny, relatable moment to get fans back on his side. But here's the problem. None of it is working. Because no matter how much Ryan tries to distract from it, the lawsuit is still happening. The media is still asking questions. And worst of all, people are not falling for his PR tricks anymore because Ryan has been managing his public image for years. He has carefully crafted every single part of his reputation. The cool dad, the sarcastic but lovable Hollywood guy, the flawless businessman who never makes mistakes. But now, the cracks in that image are starting to show. Because if he really had nothing to hide, then why is he so desperate to control the narrative right now? Why is he making sure that Hollywood executives and major publications are staying silent on the lawsuit? Why is his PR team working behind the scenes to protect him instead of just letting the truth come out? This is the first time in Ryan's career that people are asking real questions about him. And the scariest part? He does not seem to have an answer.
I have a lot of questions about Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public space.
The one thing Ryan Reynolds never wanted to happen is happening. People are finally questioning the version of himself he has been selling for years. And once the public starts looking closer, they don't stop. Hollywood has seen this happen before. A-list star who seems untouchable. The fan-favorite actor who always knows how to say the right thing. The celebrity who suddenly has the media turning against them after years of positive press. And every single time, the industry moves on to someone else. Because in Hollywood, once the industry decides you are not untouchable anymore, it is already too late. And if you think this is bad, just wait, because this lawsuit is about to take an even darker turn.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids, and he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources.
Ryan Reynolds built his career on being Hollywood's most likable leading man. For years, studios fought to cast him in blockbuster films. Brands poured millions into securing him for endorsements. The media carefully crafted a public image that made him seem untouchable. But now, that untouchable status is fading fast. Because with Candace Owens exposing cracks in his public persona, Hugh Jackman being dragged into Blake Lively's lawsuit, and Ryan's name now tied to a legal battle he has no control over, Hollywood is starting to realize something. Ryan Reynolds is not the perfect scandal-free celebrity they thought he was. And in an industry that only protects stars as long as they remain valuable, Ryan's future is looking more uncertain than ever.
Guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal. I mean, notoriously, that's the reason why he flew out Liz Play.
This is where things get even worse for Ryan. Because right now, behind the scenes, Hollywood executives are watching everything play out. And their silence, it speaks volumes. When an A-list actor is caught in a major controversy, one of two things happen. If Hollywood still sees them as profitable, they will immediately step in to protect them. They will control the headlines. They will make sure media coverage stays positive. They will offer the actor bigger and better roles to keep them in the spotlight. But if Hollywood no longer thinks they are worth the risk, they will pretend they never existed. And right now, that is what is happening to Ryan Reynolds. Because where are his Hollywood allies? Where are the A-list actors defending him? Where are the directors who have worked with him for years, standing by his side? Where are the producers making sure the lawsuit does not impact his career? Nowhere. And that is a major red flag. Because in Hollywood, loyalty only lasts as long as you are profitable. And if Ryan's industry allies are already pulling away, that means they see the writing on the wall. Because let's be honest, Ryan Reynolds is not irreplaceable, and Hollywood has already found younger, drama-free actors who can step into his place.
Justin Baldoni's podcast partner flew her all the way over, presumably to the UK, to provide her expert testimony as to why bromances are like totally chill.
The worst part about this situation for Ryan, Hollywood is not waiting to see how this lawsuit plays out. They are already looking for his replacement, and there are plenty of options. Glenn Powell is Hollywood's new go-to leading man. His career is skyrocketing, and studios are seeing him as the next Ryan Reynolds. Chris Pratt is still getting major action comedy roles and has the backing of powerful Hollywood producers. Jack Quaid is becoming a fan favorite with a growing fan base and a media-friendly reputation. The entertainment industry loves to recycle its leading men, and if Ryan Reynolds becomes too much of a liability, he will be replaced. Because the truth is, Ryan was never Hollywood's only choice. He was just the most convenient one. And now that studios are seeing his legal drama unfold, they are realizing they don't actually need him. And that is when careers start to crumble.
Of the word romance is just, it's a platonic relationship between two men. There's no female equivalent to the term romance. The female equivalent is friends. And so the fact that we need a term to describe two men going out to dinner.
Ryan Reynolds knows what is happening. He has been in this industry long enough to understand how quickly Hollywood can turn on you. He knows that if he does not find a way to fix this scandal, his career could take a major hit. But at this point, does he even have a way out? Because this lawsuit is not going away. Hugh Jackman is set to be deposed, and his testimony could reveal damaging details that Ryan does not want exposed. Blake Lively's legal team is fighting to keep private messages from being used in court, messages that reportedly involve Ryan, Hugh, and Taylor Swift. The media is finally starting to ask questions about Ryan's perfectly crafted public image and what he may have been hiding all along. And the scariest part? Ryan's usual PR tricks aren't working anymore. This is not just a media narrative that can be spun, this is a real legal case. And if Ryan is tied too closely to Blake's lawsuit, it could destroy everything he has built. Because if there is one thing Hollywood hates more than a scandal, it is a scandal that cannot be controlled. And if you think this is bad, just wait. Because Ryan Reynolds' next move could determine whether, or not, he survives this industry shakeup. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and do not forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you will be the first to get notified about the latest drama.